Okay, let's just state it plainly. Right now, we are living through one of the biggest shakeups to creativity, maybe ever. I'm talking about AI-generated art. It's completely changing the game, right? It's challenging how we make art, how we value it, everything. So the big question is this the end for human artists, or is this the beginning of something totally new? Let's get into it.
All right, first things first. To really get what's going on, you have to understand just the sheer scale of this thing. This isn't some tiny little trend. No, this is a full-on tidal wave of creativity.
So get this, 34 million. That's how many images AI is cranking out every single day. Think about that for a second. In just 24 hours, these systems create more art than a human artist could in like a dozen lifetimes. It's that volume, that speed, that makes this revolution unlike anything we've ever seen before.
Okay, so you have this absolute flood of AI art. But here's where it gets really interesting. What happens when all that art hits our human brains? Well, it turns out we have this bizarre psychological quirk, this paradox. And honestly, it says a lot more about us than it does about the AI.
And that brings us to the absolute core of the issue. So, imagine this. You've got a piece of art. People love it. They think it's brilliant. Then, you tell them just one tiny thing. You tell them an AI made it. What happens next? Well, it's pretty shocking.
And this is the paradox in a nutshell. When people have no idea who or what made the art, they're often blown away by it. They'll praise its skill, its creativity. But the second you slap that made by AI label on it, the whole perception just flips on its head. The exact same piece of art is suddenly dismissed. It's seen as cheaper, less creative, less real.
And we're not just talking about feelings here. We have the data. And honestly, it's wild. The moment you tell someone a piece is AI-generated, their perception of its craftsmanship drops by 77%. And what they think it's worth, that goes down by 62%. And I gotta say it again, nothing about the image changed, only the label.
So why on earth do we do this? Well, psychologists say it boils down to a few biases that are wired deep inside us. First, there's the authenticity bias. This gut feeling that real art has to come from a real, messy human life. Then there's effort justification. Basically, we value something more if we believe a person really struggled and put in the hours to make it. And finally, we've got this kind of species-centric belief that, true creativity, that's our thing. It's a human-only superpower.
Now, of course, this weird quirk in our brains isn't just some academic curiosity. It has huge, real-world impacts on people's jobs, on their livelihoods. So let's talk about the money, because this is a story of both real, legitimate threats and some pretty amazing opportunities. And let's not sugarcoat it. The threat is serious. Some forecasts are predicting a hit of around 22 billion euros for creative professionals over the next 5 years. For a working artist, a photographer, a designer, that number feels like a full-blown existential threat. But here's the twist. For the folks who are learning to ride this wave instead of fighting it, the opportunity is massive. We're already seeing freelancers with solid AI skills charging 40% more per hour than those without. So adapting isn't just about surviving, it's actually turning out to be super profitable. And hey, it turns out artists are already adapting in a big way. Just look at this. Almost 46% are saying AI is very useful in their work. Another 35% are using it to kick around ideas. You add that up, and you're looking at over 80% of creatives who are already folding this tech into their process. It's becoming just another tool in the toolbox.
Okay, so we've talked about the money, but there's another, more subtle danger we need to talk about. With AIs generating millions of images based on pretty much the same pool of internet data, are we accidentally creating an artistic echo chamber? Are we heading for a future where everything just kind of looks the same?
There's actually a technical name for this. It's called model collapse. And the best way to think about it is like this. Imagine a photocopier making a copy of a copy over and over again. Each time, the image gets a little blurrier, a little less detailed. That's model collapse. When an AI trains too much on its own synthetic images, it starts to forget the rich, messy, surprising details of the real world.
And this isn't just some abstract fear, you can actually measure it. Right now, our top AI models only manage to capture about 77% of the diversity that's in their original human training data. That missing 23%, that's the slow creep towards everything looking, well, a little bit more generic. Okay, so we've got the mind games, the money worries, and the risk of everything becoming boring. It sounds a little bleak, right? But this is where the story gets really good. because the most exciting part is being written by artists who are saying, what if we don't fight this? What if we partner with it?
I mean, look at someone like musician Holly Herndon. She built an AI partner called Spawn, fed it only her own voice, and now they co-create completely original music. It's wild. Or look at the artist Rafik Anadol. He had an AI dream based on the entire collection of the Museum of Modern Art, and now that dream is hanging on the walls of MoMA itself. See, these artists aren't being replaced, they're leveling up.
And when you look at these successes, you start to see a pattern, a kind of recipe for making it work. It's all about blending deep human skill with the incredible power of the AI. It means getting really good at guiding the machine, making sure everyone gets credit where it's due, and, this is the big one, always keeping a human in the driver's seat, guiding the overall vision.
You know, the pioneering AI researcher Fei Li said it perfectly. She said the goal is for AI to unlock creativity rather than replace it. And I think that's exactly what we're seeing from these artists. They're showing us what that actually looks like.
So, when you take a step back and look at the whole picture, our weird psychology, the economic shifts, the risks, and these incredible collaborations, it starts to become clear. The future probably isn't humans versus machines. It's something much more interesting. It's a kind of creative symbiosis.
And you know what? If you look at history, we've seen this movie before. Back in the 1840s, people thought photography would be the death of painting. But it wasn't. It just pushed painting to become something new, something abstract. Same thing in the 80s with synthesizers and guitars. The new tech doesn't kill the old, it forces it to evolve. AI is just the next big chapter in that same story. So really, the takeaway is this. The future is a partnership. And in this partnership, we each have our jobs. The human brings the vision, the meaning, the why, the stuff a machine just can't get. And the AI, it brings the insane speed, the endless options, and the perfect execution. It's the ultimate collaborator. So at the end of the day, maybe this isn't a conversation about what the technology is going to do to us. Maybe it's about what we are going to do with the technology. The tools are on the table. They're more powerful than anything we've ever had. So the real question, the one that matters is, what are we going to build?